Hello, the next topic is interface design steps. So, once interface analysis has been completed in the last session, we are going to take the actions and tasks, that objects that we are taken, that is the task required by the end user for the purpose of interface design. So, here the interface design is something but is an iterative process, that is not only in one go it will complete. The process is going to be iterated, repeated once more number of times in order to complete the design. So the steps that should be followed in order to make an interface design is using information developed during interface analysis, define interface objects and actions. So what are the interface objects and actions we have to define in the first step, and next one is define events that will cause the state of the user interface to change, model this behavior. So we have to define the events. So what are the events that are possible, that is actions that are performed by the user that will cause to change the state from one state to another state. So that is nothing but the modeling the behavior of the user. And the third step is we have to depict each interface state as it will actually look to the end user. So whatever the end user will see, in his perception only the interface state must be seen. And the fourth step is indicated how the user interprets the state of the system from information provided through the interface. So depending upon the change of state from one state to another state, the user is interpreting, that is the information will be providing through the interface. So the first step is applying the interface design steps. So that is defining the interface design steps means we have to define the interface objects and actions through some methods. That is, after that we have to create the objects and actions that have been defined adaptively, iteratively. They are said to be target, source and application objects that are identified. For example, a source object is nothing but a report icon that is dragged and dropped onto a target object, a printer icon. The implication of this action is to create hard copy of the report. An application object represents application specific data that are not directly manipulated as part of the screen interaction. For example, a mailing list is used to store names for mailing, something like Gmail and Yahoo Mail. The list itself might be sorted, merged or purged, but it is not dragged and dropped via user interaction. That is, the Gmail will make the list will be maintained by itself, not the user is going to be maintained in the spam or the important mails or the kind of things that you are going to have in Gmail. So that is, the user interaction will not be there, that is, the system must maintain with the help of some steps. So when you are satisfied that all important objects or actions are being defined, screen layout is performed. So once the thing is done, we have to mention the screen layout that is going to be designed, and what is the description test, specification, and what are the titles of windows, definition of major and minor menu items are conducted. So in this way the user interface is taken. For example, if you take the safe home security system, as we are discussing for the so many number of times in the any models, that is safe home security function. So based on this use case, the following homeowner tasks, objects and data items are identified. So what are the tasks, objects and data items that are being done by the homeowner? Or the first one is the homeowner accesses the safe home system. After that accessing, he will enter the ID and password to allow remote access, and the system will check the system status. Next one is arms or disarms safe home system, that is enabling or disabling. Next one is displays floor plan and sensor locations. So what is the floor plan, at where the sensors has been placed. Next one is displays zones on floor plan. Next, changes zones or floor plan. Displays video camera locations or floor plan. selects video camera for viewing, views video images, that is 4 frames per second. Next, pans or zooms the video camera. So that is objects, that is the bold letters are called the objects, that is ID, passport, system status, floor plan, zones, video camera. These are all the objects. And actions are the arming or disarming, displaying, selecting, viewing, accessing, entering. These are all the actions. That is the list from the homeowner task. So the majority of objects are noted on application objects in such a manner. And the next step is the user interface design patterns. So graphical user interface, that is GUIs, have become so common that a wide variety of user interface design pattern has been emerged. So that is, if you take for example the preliminary screen layout of how the safe home security system will be given the access. That is, the safe home security system will be having this kind of UI design, that is user interface design. The first one is user will access the software and the admin will configure the system and the system will show the status, and for viewing the cameras the view menu is there, and for monitoring menu is there. So when you click on monitoring, automatically the window of the first floor, that is the floor plan, will be opened, and wherever the cameras are there, the locations of the cameras are also being shown. That is, C represents the camera, video camera location, and M represents the motion detector, that is the beam, that is any person is entering or going, that motion is going to be detected. That and all will be shown in the motion detector. So in this way we can able to zoom in or out of the video image. So in this way safe home is said to be function is having the preliminary screen layout. So next one is design issues. Design issues means if there is any problems, if there is any difficulties that is being done in the case of design, that thing is called as design issues. As the design of a user interface evolves, 4 common design issues will be almost common. That is the system response time, the user help facilities, error information handling, and command labeling. The first one is response time. So system response time is the primary component for many interactive applications. That is, whenever you open an app or whenever you open a web application into the computer or the system, the response time must be very quick. If the response time is very low, automatically users won't use that app or won't use that web application software for their purposes that are meant for. So that's why response time must be very quick. In general, system response time is measured from the point at which the user performs some control action, something like hitting the return key or clicks a mouse, until the software responds with desired output or action. So appropriately the software has to be responded depending upon the action that is given by the user. So system response has 2 important characteristics, that is the length and variability. If the system response time is too long, user will get frustrated and the stress will be more. Variability refers to the deviation from average response time, and it is important for response time characteristics. Low variability means the user to establish an interaction even if responsibility is relatively long. For example, a 1 second response to a command will often be preferable to a response that varies from 0.1 seconds to 2.5 seconds. So when variability is significant, the user is always off balance and something different has been occurred behind the scenes. So that is the importance of response time. And next one is help facilities. So in each and every software, in each and every web-based application, whatever be the application that you are using, the Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or Excel or any IDE or Eclipse or whatever the Turbo C, whatever that is the application that we are using in our programming terminology, that and all will be given with the help facilities. That is, almost every user of interactive computer based system requires help now and then. So for in case of any difficulty, in case of any knowing of further information, if your thing is being given in the help menu, automatically the user can able to understand, can read out that, can go through that material in the help, and then he will proceed. In some cases, a simple question addresses to a knowledge colleague can do the trick. In others, detailed research in a multi-volume set of user manuals may be only the option. So in most cases, however, modern software provides online help facilities that enable a user to get a question answered or to resolve a problem. So number of design issues must be addressed when a help facility is considered. That is, the first one is, will help be available for all system functions and at all times during system interaction? How will the user request help? Options include help menu, a special function, or help command. How will help be represented? Options include a separate window, a reference to a printed document, that is redirecting to a printed document, or 1-2 line suggestions in a fixed screen location. How will the user return to a normal interaction? Options that include a return button displayed on the screen, a function key, or a control sequence. These are things about the help menu. And next one is about the error handling. So this is also very important. Error messages and warnings are bad news delivered to users of interactive systems when something has gone wrong. So error messages and warnings will be given with some set of codes, and whenever the error messages or warnings will come, automatically the user who are using that application or app will get frustrated. There are few computer users who have not encountered an error of the form, something like application has been forced to quit because an error of type, some code will be there that has been encountered. So whenever suddenly that window will be closed, the app will be closed that you are using in your Android mobiles. So that is because of that code, some reason that will be closed automatically or stuck in somewhere. So that explanation must be exist. Otherwise, why would the designers have added that identification? So if the error coding is given something like 1023, they have to give the description for that 1023. What is the problem? What is the error? How it can be resolved? And why the user cannot be repeated once again for that code? So these are the things that must be keep in mind while the software engineer must keep in mind, or designer must keep in mind while designing the user interface. That is very important. So in general, every error message or warning produced by interactive system should have some characteristics, such as the messages should describe the problem, the messages should provide constructive advice for recovering of error, the message should indicate any consequences, negative consequences. So message should be accompanied by audible or visual cue, that is why the reason it is coming. The message should be non-judgmental, that is voting should never place blame on the user. So because of the things that must be. So the last one is menu and command labeling. The typed command was once the most common mode of interaction between user and system software and was commonly used for applications of every time, that is command prompt. So today the use of window oriented, point oriented has reduced the reliance on typed commands, but some users continue to prefer a command oriented mode of interaction, something like Linux users. So in Linux, everything will be based on the command prompt. From the command prompt, entire system will be interacted, the user will be interacted with the command prompt. So that is depending upon the knowledgeable users. Power users means the users which are having more knowledge of how to interact with the system. So the number of design issues that are arise when typed commands or menu labels are provided as a mode of interaction, or will every menu option have corresponding command? What form will commands take? That is, options include function keys or typed word. How difficult will it be learn and remember the commands? So commands, some users who are quick, they may use that codes, commands and to enter and interact. Somebody may not remember properly. So can commands be customized or abbreviated, or menu labels are self-explanatory, and so on. So these are the things that has to keep in mind by the software designer. So next one is application accessibility. As computing applications become ubiquitous, software engineers must ensure the interface design encompasses mechanisms that enable easy access for those with special needs. Accessibility for users who may be physically challenged, that is something like deaf and dumb or any deformity will be there in physically, is imperative for ethical, legal and business reasons. So variety of accessible guidelines, many designed for applications but often applicable to all types of software, provide detailed suggestions for defining interfaces that achieve varying levels of accessibility. Others provide specific guidelines for assistive technology that addresses the need for those visual, hearing, mobility, speech and learning impairments. So the people will be there who are physically handicapped or visually challenged, or they are unable to hear, or they are unable to move properly, unable to speak and unable to learn. So in that physically challenged and mentally challenged persons must be given the accessibility by keeping in mind of those kind of people also for in developing the web applications. And the last one is internalization. The software engineers and managers, they are able to underestimate the effort and skills required to create user interfaces that accommodate the needs of different locales and languages. So many people will be there from so many countries and so many languages will be there. So the challenge is to create a globalized software. That is, if the software is designed, it must be understandable by the people of India, it must be understandable by the people of Africa, it must be understandable by the people of any other country. So that is, the user interfaces should be designed to accommodate generic core of functionality. That is, anybody can able to adapt and use that application or software. So that is called internationalization. That is, across the globe, if you design a web app application or an Android application or app, that must be applicable and understandable by all the people across the globe. Thank you.